storm, earth, and fire, heed my call.
What's up everyone, it's Waves, and today again I have a new M+ commentary for you guys. We played a 26 Azure Vault, which honestly, going into a sanguine fortified 26 Azure Vault, yeah, my expectations weren't too high. I mean, sure, we can time this, but I mean, I was doubting it a little bit, to be fair. But yeah, I'd say we just start the video here, see how it went for us. So yeah, we pretty much just start the key here. We potted Shocking Disclosure. We have ads marked here for interrupts. Then we gather all of those up. We let the Shriek go off to get the Furies here as well. First pull for me was really messy. So we had frontals go off here. I actually get hit by one frontal, but it's fine because we had defensives up and a lot of healing, so I lived it. But pretty much just with like hitboxes, it was kind of scuffed for me a little bit, this first pull, that is. Because, yeah, whenever they all move together, then sometimes it's hard to see like where the mob that you target walks, and then, I don't know, sometimes it's a bit weird for me at least. Having 100% uptime here, while trying not to stand in any frontal. Either way, it was a little bit messy, but we get the first pull done. Sure, it took us a little bit longer than it had to, but yeah. Unfortunately, we get the last shards here go off on the tank. So he dies, but luckily you can just release here, and then he's already back. So we kind of just lost 5 seconds there. Nothing too terrible, but also obviously not nice. Here we usually just have me kick the tree, which for once we didn't do that in this pack here. Usually it's nice to have a range kick on the tree, because sometimes you get these like things on the ground here where you obviously can't stand in. And then having a range kick for the tree whenever it casts is really good, because obviously melees can't kick it sometimes, especially when you have Sanguine down and then the tree is getting healed. You really want a range kick on that. Because I couldn't really play last week, my group was playing with a Shadow Priest though instead of me, so they kind of got used to the tank doing the interrupt. I actually got caught there by the thing on the ground, unfortunately, because I wanted to go to the one side, and then I decided I wanted to go to the other side late, and yeah, it was just a misplay there from my end. But yeah, either way, I told them then in this pack that I think it's just better if I do the interrupt, honestly, on the tree. So from this pack onwards, then afterwards, I'm doing the tender interrupt. And honestly, like these first few pulls can either like be very clean and then it's really good, or if they are slightly not clean, you can lose a lot of time here. Because if you have one of these tenders heal from Sanguine, which can easily happen if you just misplay a little bit, it will rack up like your timer by quite a bit. Because if that heals for like just like 20 to 30%, you can't really change it, because you don't really want to have 2 trees on those kind of pulls. It will cost you a lot of time, so it's really important that you play it clean and don't really get a lot of Sanguine healing on those. So yeah, pretty much what we want to do here is we want to just use our AoE CC, like we raw from the evoker that you can just see. Now we leg sweep. Then we want to get a cap stun most of the time. I mean, this one we don't, we actually thunderstorm first. Usually whenever we CC like ad groups, we always do leg sweep into cap stun, into thunderstorm, into sundering, into vortex typhoon, into evoker knock up, and then we have kicks obviously as well afterwards. So we have like endless AoE stops. And yeah, that's what we did here for the smallies. Then they died. We just moved the tree out of the Sanguine and finished it off. That was very clean actually. I would say, even though we had 2 deaths here in the beginning, which both could have been avoided easily. I think we played this pretty clean, like the beginning, in my opinion. So yeah, not too bad. Now we kind of just want to get all of these trees together, making sure that no one like dies to aggro while Ace is trying to gather them all up, basically. And yeah, then just move as a group, because like again, we're still playing a full melee group, so we kind of want to bait all of those like swirlies on top of each other, so that we don't waste a lot of space. Like bait them on top of each other and then move all as a group. And yeah, that's gonna just make the trash pack the easiest that we can make it for ourselves. So that's what we're trying to do here. We thought about like leaving some of these smallies for the boss, because obviously if you play with an Enhancement Shaman, it's always good on Primordial Wave to have more targets, which would be really good for the boss damage, to have some of those to go into the boss fight and then get a huge amount of haste in the beginning. But since they do the explosion when they die, we kind of wanted to just play this key like very, very safe. And so we opted for not taking them on boss and just killing them off for now. And I mean, I still get haste from them, right? I just kill the trash faster instead of like killing the boss faster. So arguably it comes out to the same result. But yeah, I think it's fine that we didn't take them on boss and took the safe route. Cause yeah, I mean, if you really want to push, you should definitely take them on boss. But yeah, it's also not the end of the world if you don't. So yeah, we kill them off here, then we pull first boss. We have 36% of the trash done. I think our route is pretty good that we play in this key for a fortified week. Obviously, you will see throughout the key like what exactly we do, what kind of trash we skip, what trash we play. We also have a little bit of a trick, which obviously some people know it, but I'm pretty sure some people have also never seen the trick before. So yeah, if you're struggling with Azure Vault, then definitely make sure to watch the rest of the video, because there is like a cheeky little skip that we do, or a cheeky little strategy that we do for a skip that makes the skip way nicer in my opinion. So yeah, we will get to that when we get to that. For now, we are on the first boss. My damage will pretty much always look bad on these, because there's so many little ads that I just like generate funnel from. I just funnel into the boss. But I'm not really the person that kills them, right? First of all, I'm target capped, and second of all, I'm not even trying to use like any AoE on them. So I'm literally just trying to funnel while the other people are just killing the ads. So obviously the damage will always look bad on the damage meter here, but realistically we know that, you know, we're funneling into the boss, which is what matters at the end of the day. I mean, obviously the ads need to die as well, but you get what I'm saying. You need like a good balance of like AoE blasters and funneling people in the group. So obviously on this boss, on fortified, nothing should really be too difficult here. If you use your Azure shift at the very end of those trees like blowing up, you will still have it up for the stomp happening afterwards. If you use it like last second, basically. So yeah, that's kind of like what I try to do every time I use Azure shift. If I don't have Azure shift on fortified, it's enough if I just shift into Ghost Wolf to clear the trees, because well, I get a 20% damage reduction, and that is just enough for fortified weeks, because the boss doesn't do that much damage. I mean, in a 26, it still does a lot of damage, but it's not enough to just like straight up one-shot you. Also, in the group, we always have like, you know, healing CDs, as in like we have Zephyr, we have Rallying Cry and stuff like that. So we obviously always have defensives prepared for it. So I don't just randomly die if I don't have anything up. I also use my Earth Ally here, also as a defensive, basically. Definitely want to make sure to not leave that unused, because it has quite a bit of value in terms of like increasing your max HP, which means that you won't die to certain mechanics that otherwise you may have died to. So yeah, unfortunately I get cleared pretty early here from the tank running through on the Thundering. Usually, as I said in previous videos as well, you want to keep the Thundering buff or debuff for as long as you can, because it gives you 30% damage increase. Of course, you don't want to risk it to the point where you don't clear and then you wipe to it and then deplete a key just because of it. But as long as you can, you want to like try and min-max the stacks a little bit so you get more damage out of it. We could have just like went for killing the boss here. I think we could have committed. We had the damage for it. We just weren't sure, so we wanted to play it safe. I had a little bit of a struggle orienting myself here where the exit is. So what's also really good, like when we in our group move to packs, we always do Druid Roar, and then once the speed runs out, we then use Windrush Totem. Here, like, everyone makes it through. Unfortunately, the only one that's really necessary is our tank, and he didn't make it through. So yeah, I think we can definitely improve on that to not use any movement as long as we have Roar or Windrush up. But yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, it's just like a 15-second loss that we have here, because we have to wait for the tank now. But yeah, now we skip all of that trash, because in Fortified, like in Tyrannical, we play that trash that we just skipped. But in Fortified, it's like, yeah. Because we have to use all the CDs on first boss, we kind of didn't want to play that pack afterwards. So we opted for playing the 2 Elementals here, which usually you would skip. Like in Tyrannical weeks, we skip those 2 and play the what's it called? The pack before that instead, basically. But yeah, in Fortified, we turn it around, we play it this way. And yeah, these have quite the HP, so it's honestly just straight up worth using cooldowns on those, because they will, even though it's just like 2 random mobs, they will take a bit to die here. We don't clear Thundering early, obviously we want to have the damage buff as long as we can, and then once the mobs die, we just clear, and then move on to the next room. These right now are the quote-unquote sketchy packs for, I think, most people, and in like packs and stuff like that. For me in the beginning, like, when I didn't have that much experience in Azure Vault, those felt really bad. At the end of the day, for me, I have to kick the bindings. That's all I have to do. So I put it on my focus. Every time I see icy bindings, I just kick it. And what helps me a lot here is to just don't care about lashing flames. Just funnel into the big guy, because you want to kill the big guy at the same time as the smallies, anyways, right? So I just keep focus kicking the bindings, and I just funnel into the big guy. The big guy also has like a huge hitbox, so you don't have to like worry about like not being able to hit your target. You just stand outside, dodge the swirlies on the ground, and get your interrupt, and just funnel into the big guy, and that's all there is to it. So yeah, big guy dies pretty much at the same time as all these elementals, all at the same time, and that is pretty much as clean as you can kill this pack. So now we do a little trick here. A lot of you guys have seen people just jump down here, like die and rest and shit like that. If you use like the parasol toy from Shadowlands, you can literally just jump down here and then like control where you're flying, and then land safely, have no deaths, no fall damage whatsoever. And yeah, pretty much prep for the next pull. We lusted the last pack. Usually we want to lust this pack though. So yeah, we had a little bit of a mistake there, lusting the last one. Ideally, we want to lust this because this is the harder pack. Again, I'm focus interrupting the icy bindings. There we go, there's my kick. This pack a little bit more difficult than the other one because there's no mob, like there's no big mob with a big hitbox. So it is kind of sketchy to get hit by frontals here because there are 4 mobs in this pull that do frontals. If I get hit by one in a fortified 26 key, I'm dead. So yeah, I want to make sure that I'm always like standing close to the mob that's furthest away from the tank and just hit that. I don't worry too much here about lashing flames, again, because you will do more damage if you can just focus on your rotation and don't have to like worry about where you're standing, you know? If I have to worry, oh, where is this mob? Can I lava lash it? And then, you know, where do I have to move because of the frontal? And then I move there and here and there, and then I just lose uptime and I lose damage, you know? So as much as I can, if it's possible, I will spread lashing flames, but if I can't, I just can't, you know? It is what it is. I just focus on my positioning, not dying and doing the damage that I can without spreading lashing flames, basically. And that's pretty much what we do here. We kill the elemental off, and now we just have the 3 constructs here. Those are still the ones that do frontals. I purge their shields here, just so we don't have to damage through that. And then we just kill them off slowly. And that's pretty much all we're gonna do on these, like, rings, basically, in terms of packs. So now we go over to the book, and we teleport over to the second boss room. And this room is kind of sketchy, pretty much in every week, but you always just need to break it down. That's what helped me the most. Like when I started to, like, you know, learn these keys, is that just break down what's happening here realistically. Realistically, the only thing I have to do here again is kick the icy bindings, and whenever we pull the big guy, it has a frontal. Those are the only things I need to worry about. Sure, if there's like swirlies on the ground, I am trying not to stand in them. But other than that, I don't have to worry about any frontals or anything I need to kick or whatever. I have my kick, that's the icy bindings. I have that on my focus and I look out for that. And that's it. It's most of the time not worth to like single purge all of these mobs when they do like the magical damage shield on them or whatever it's called. So yeah, what I do is just literally get my interrupt and do damage. And now we have the big guy pulled, so I try to target the big guy for funneling into it. And now we have a very, very sketchy situation coming up. So again, I still want to kick the keeper that we're gonna pull right now. I want to keep kicking the bindings here. The call is also to funnel all the damage into the big guy though, because the big guy, if we get healing on that guy, it's very sketchy. We want to kill this guy quick because it buffs the other mobs, and we don't want it to accidentally sanguine heal. So obviously I want uptime on the big guy, and I want to funnel damage into him while still getting my kick. And then I make a really big mistake here, is that I get my bindings kick here. The monk is kiting the big guy, because we need to get it away from the sanguine. Also, we just need to keep moving for timer. Like, we need to pull the next mobs and then go to the next pack. And here I do a crucial mistake. The mob, the big mob, doesn't go left side. Here. It doesn't go, you know, to the left side around the pillar. It goes around the pillar on the right side. And because I'm a melee and I want to keep uptime, because we need to funnel our damage into the big guy, I follow it on the right side, right? And then, while I'm on the right side, this mob is casting the icy binding, which I saw in my focus frame, and I'm kicking it. I'm spamming my kick, but it's out of line of sight. Because I was so focused on like chasing the big mob and like not standing in swirlies here on the ground and shit like that, that I didn't see that this mob didn't follow these two mobs, because those two also ran, those two also ran on the inside, right? But this one is still over here. Like, this one is the one that I had to kick. And I thought it would just follow those two and, like, walk around the pillar and come here. But since it started casting so early, yeah, it was still standing there and it LOS'd me. So, the kick went off. Jelly dies. And we had people rooted and take damage. And then I heal Ace here. I think... Oh, sorry for hitting my mic. That's my bad. So we rest Jelly and I healed Ace because I thought we can still salvage. But then Ace dies. And this is sketchy, obviously. So how do I react to this? I instantly put my Earth Ally out. Earth Ally is out and I start kiting. Because as Enhance, you're always the one that gets aggro from most of the mobs. So I start kiting immediately. I put a slow totem down. I put a stun totem down. My Earth Ally is tanking them. And I'm just spamming Chain Lightning from the back. I tell my team to keep going, you know. We get the tank rest. He gets slowly aggro back on everything. And we salvage the pull. And those are like the things that I mention this a lot, like when I play with my team and also on my stream, that you should not always doom a key that isn't doomed, you know? Because like in this example, I don't want to like call anyone out or whatever, but like one person of the group was like, yeah, it's over, right? Because we died, you know? We had a death, we had the tank die here. And then I said, no, we can salvage that, right? Like, we keep going, we do this, we do that, we get the rest, we get aggro back, we kite, and then we can salvage it. And like, a lot of times you just rip keys because you just give up, you know? But as long as the situation is still manageable, you should try to manage it. And I think this is a perfect example where, obviously, if we wipe here, the key is depleted, right? But we didn't, even though it looked like we would. So I think it's a great example that you should always try to use the tools that you have to salvage the situation, and if you can't, you can't, but if you can, you should try to do it. So, yeah, we finish off the pack here. We have 17 minutes left for 30% trash and 3 bosses. Doesn't look too promising, if I'm being completely honest. But honestly, if we get out of this room with like 13 minutes left, approximately, that should be okay. So, yeah, pretty much what we do on this boss is I always take first kick here. Our warrior mainly stays on the boss because we have enough damage on the ad anyways. Like, I basically almost solo it. Like 2 is also on the ad, but Jelly is just staying on the boss because we need a lot of boss damage here. This boss has a lot of HP, and you try to like not get as many phases as possible. Like this phase right now, where it goes in the middle and you kill the 4 ads, you never want to have 4 phases here. Like you want to have 3 phases, and then the boss should be dead basically. So yeah, here I fuck up my second Flame Shock, unfortunately. It was supposed to be on the right ad, but I tapped back a little bit too early, and I actually Flame Shocked the same mob again. So that's a little bit of a misplay here, wasting 10% haste that I usually would have gotten, and also wasting the Lightning Bolt damage on the ad, obviously. But yeah, mainly you just want to stack with your group here, move as a team, and then just kill the ad, move together, make sure that you use your healing here and defensives. This is a great place to use AG, actually. Because, yeah, with multi-dotting, you can do a lot of damage here if you use your Primordial Wave. And, yeah, then you can just do a lot of, like, AoE healing. Because these phases are pretty healing intensive. So, yeah, want to make sure that you use that to your advantage as much as you can. And yeah, now again, back to these ads. I use a primordial wave here because I'm gonna get it back for the face anyways. And you kind of just wanna, as I said, like cleave down the ads. For us personally, warrior stays on boss. We just kill the ad with 2 people. That's fine. And yeah, then we have kicks assigned, obviously. So I always take first. Then I think it's a feral that takes second, and then we would have the warrior as well if necessary. And I mean, you can see like we're already getting close to like the second phase here, or like the second intermission phase, and the boss is still not even at 50%. Which is kind of sketchy because we kind of want to kill it after the 3rd phase. So we gotta make sure that that we get the boss damage from somewhere. You can always kite the boss a little bit away so that when it actually phases, it has to run into the middle. That is a very good strategy that you can do to save some time, basically. So here we actually play it correct. I puzzle box here, and I get Primordial Wave on 1, Flame Shock on 2, and then I use my Lightning Bolts here to get a lot of haste, and pretty much to just spread out my damage a little bit on these ads as well. Ace almost dying here. Kind of sketchy. Again, like this phase is not that easy to heal, so if you can support your healer with an AG, which I just popped, obviously it would have been better with my cooldowns, but while I had my damage cooldowns, our healer still had healing cooldowns, so I didn't need to use it. But yeah, you want to make sure that you don't leave it unused, and you actually want to get some value out of it. So yeah, we finish the boss here. Sorry, the ad. And we go back on the boss. We have Jelly die, unfortunately. Actually, I think we want to commit to killing it here. If I'm not mistaken. We actually only wanted 2 phases instead of 3. Sorry, I misspoke in the beginning. Yeah, so we actually want to kill it here. And even though it will probably be wasted, we will actually pop Bloodlust for this, just to make sure that we don't get another phase. Because even if we waste like 20 seconds of our Bloodlust, ensuring that we don't get another phase here is worth so much. Because one of those phases easily takes like what, like 45, 50 seconds. And yeah, wasting 20 seconds of Bloodlust for that is definitely worth it in our opinion. But yeah, I guess we maybe could have killed it. I mean, we have 7 seconds, 6 seconds, 5.5 seconds. Maybe. I don't know. Maybe we could have gotten it without Lust. I think it would have been very, very close and very sketchy, though. So maybe if Jelly didn't die, we didn't have to Bloodlust there. But either way, it happens, and we decided to do what we did. So yeah. In these pulls, sorry again for hitting my mic. I hope this is not like annoying in the recording. I don't know why I'm hitting it so much today. Either way, in these pulls here, we focus everything on the breaker. Okay, everything else doesn't fucking matter. The frogs don't matter, the looters don't matter, it's all irrelevant. We focus the breaker, and once the breaker dies, we ignore everything else and we move on to the next pack. Because everything else will just die and cleave, die passively, like it doesn't matter. The only thing that does damage to you is the breaker. It does the AoE, it does the charge, and it's fortified, so it literally can kill you. Like you can see, okay, this one I dodged, but like, if I don't have a cooldown and this charges me, it drops me to like 10%. So yeah, we try to like knock everything away, use our knocks, CC stuns. Like you can see, it dropped me to like, what, 20%, 18%? And yeah, if anything else hits me at that time, I'm just dead. So yeah, unfortunately we get a little bit of sanguine healing here on the breaker. Jelly almost dies without CR. That would have been terrible. So we get the breaker down, and then you can see everyone just turns around. We're leaving. We're done here. All right, like the frogs, they will follow us. It's fine. We move on. So now we go downstairs, and we focus the breaker again. Here you kind of need to wait a little bit for the tank to have aggro, because we had it a couple of times in some Azure vaults that we played, that if you attack too early here and aggro is gonna be wonky, you're gonna wipe. So we give him a little bit of time to get aggro here. I put my Wind Fury down. I prep my puzzle box here in a second. And yeah, then I pop AG here because we're all a little bit low. Want to make sure that we're top tier, because this, like, look at this. Look how many frogs we have. We have the one from first room. We have the ones from second room now. And again, we ignore everything else. I'm not tap targeting. I'm not spreading lashing flames or anything. We just want the breaker to die. We funnel everything into the breaker, and everything else doesn't matter whatsoever. So yeah, again, we use Thunderings, we use Thunderstorm, we use Capstun, we use Leg Sweep, we use Knockbacks, everything to just make sure that these mobs don't kill us while we kill the breaker. We had some die there for Sanguine, so We actually got the breaker out of there, which was really good. Breaker again very low here. The frogs are far. This is really, really good. And now arguably we should have probably finished these frogs because they were very low. There are some at like 15% HP. And just chaining this will create a situation where they will die relatively early going into this room and just put sanguine everywhere. So maybe it wasn't the right decision to just instantly chain. Even though from like a difficulty point of view, we can, because like nothing does damage ideally other than the breaker. So you can just go there and play this pull. It's just risky for the sanguine healing because, as I said, like the mobs are low, they are gonna die. But we did it anyways. Maybe a bad call, but we did it. So again, third time we're just funneling into the breaker. Nothing else matters. We have 9.5 minutes left for 15% trash and 2 bosses in a 26. This is not looking too hot, if I'm being completely honest. But yeah, the group is dropping the entire time. Ace with red stagger, and like it's sketchy, right? We have mobs dying everywhere pretty much. We have 124k HPS from Sanguine Eka. Yeah, I mean it's bound to happen here. It doesn't matter though. Like if the frogs get healed a little bit here, it doesn't really matter too much. The only thing that matters is that the breaker doesn't get healed, which ironically it just got healed while I'm talking about it. But it wasn't too much, so it's kind of fine. We want to try and finish it off right here, and we get it killed. And at this point, the damage just stops, right? Like as soon as the breaker doesn't do its AoE anymore, there's pretty much no damage coming into the group anymore, and you can just chill and finish off the frogs. Unfortunately, due to the sanguine healing, the frogs are a little bit high HP here, so they take a little bit for us to kill, which is not ideal, because we can't chain anything anymore, because those are like the last 3 mobs we want to play. Trash-wise in this key. So yeah, not ideal, but I guess it is what it is. We sunder here to stop the stomp here, because we just want uptime. We just want to cleave them down. We have 8 minutes left. So 4 minutes per boss. I mean, can work, but we still have to do a little skip here. Like we have to tank, pull those 2 mobs to the side. We port over, then we battle res him. Not battle res, sorry. We mass res him, and then we go for the boss. So that will take a little bit of time. Unfortunately, our Feral here gets combat. I think it was just too quick, like walking into the room here. So Ace dies, 2-0 dies. We get the mass res, and then we have 7.5 minutes for 2 bosses on a 26. Sure, it's fortified, but it is a 26 key. So yeah, we will see how that goes. Hellish Greywing is pulled. As enhance, you can use Wolves and Primordial Wave here on pull. It's gonna phase relatively quickly, but Wolves and 1 Primordial Wave, that's perfectly fine. You can use that. You will pretty much have it ready again for after the phase, or like not long after the phase, rather. So yeah, we use that here on pull, and then we go into the absolute 0. We wait here. It's good to stay in Ghost Wolf here for the 20% damage reduction. I actually shift out of it because I'm not good at the game apparently sometimes. And then yeah, we kind of just want to use everything we can, pump as much damage as we can. I puzzle boxed a little bit early. I wanted to puzzle box to where my Primordial Wave would still fit into the puzzle box, but I just used it too early. I think it's just because I was nervous and I wanted to push damage, and you know, the timer was running low, which obviously in that situation, panicking and doing something wrong cooldown wise is the worst thing you can do other than wiping. But yeah, I guess I don't know. I got a little bit nervous. I potted. I mean, at least my pot was up for the Primordial Wave, but I definitely lost value there on not having Puzzle Box up for it. But I guess it is what it is. Next time I will try to keep a cool head, you know, just chill out and like plan my stuff appropriately. Like I do on last boss, for example. You will see that in a second. But yeah, we had Jelly move here a little bit early, but it's still fine. We just wasted a little bit of space. Boss is at 53% after 1.5 minutes. It's actually not terrible. If we get a 3-minute boss fight, that would actually be very, very good for the time we still have left for this key here. So yeah, you can also see we always place the frost bombs in the same position because we have like set positions of who has how much movement and, you know, like who goes where. We always have set positions because it just makes it way easier for us to heal, to keep uptime, to do damage. So it's always going to be this basically. 4 of us like around the boss, the mobile specs like further away from where we need to go, and then the less mobile specs like closer to where we need to go, and then Crive on the outside as the healer. And that way he can like Dream Breath all of us all the time. And yeah, that's pretty much how we played. The boss is below 30% now, so that means that this is supposed to be the last absolute zero. After this, we need to kill the boss. Because if we get another absolute zero, we will lose a lot of time, and we kind of don't have that time. So yeah, we try to do as much damage here as we can. I won't get potion anymore. I won't get another puzzle box. This was a little bit sketchy here with those frost bombs and the thundering. The main thing here that we try to do is to not clear the thundering though as long as we can, because we need all the damage that we can get. Here we get the frost bombs. We kind of need to clear here as well, so we clear right before the frost bombs go off and try to not have overlaps here, which we manage luckily. And then the boss is at like 3% now, so we can just finish it off here. And then we have 4 minutes for last boss, which is not that great in a 26 for last boss here. Luckily, they fixed this last boss a little bit, so it's not that hard anymore, because they like fixed the orbs that are flying around. But yeah, obviously still not an easy boss. So yeah, we have exactly 4 minutes pretty much when we start here. Boss was still at 100% HP at 4 minutes, so yeah, pretty much exactly 4 minutes for last boss. What we want to do here is I just puzzle boxed because I wanted to get 2 puzzle boxes into this fight still. So I used it on pull with my CDs, with wolves, with Primordial Wave. The next Primordial Wave that I want to have is supposed to be on the first set of shards. So on 75, 50, and 25%, the boss is going to drop these shards that we need to kill. Otherwise they explode and like we take damage, and I think like a debuff or some shit like that. Very important that we have damage for that. Enhance is very, very good for that, because, well, Primordial Wave, you just put Flame Shocks on them, and then you just kill them. Right here, by the way, I almost could have ripped the key here, because on this knockback, like this Unleash Destruction, you always need a defensive cooldown. If you don't have a defensive up here, you're fucking dead. And I noticed it really late, like we even had Crive calling it, but like I was so in my whatever, right? That you can see where the cast is, right? Like it's pretty much over. And then I Astral Shift. Like the fact that this still went off, like this had to be mitigated, right? Like no way I would have lived that without, right? Like he had, he had bark skin. He had his fucking obsidian scales or whatever it's called. I think I would have been dead. I think if it wasn't mitigated, I think I would have been dead, because I don't have anything else. We don't have Zephyr. We don't have Rally. Yeah, sure. It had to be mitigated. But yeah, it was very, very fucking close. So I almost trolled that, but luckily I didn't. So yeah. Then again, as always, we try to keep the Thundering buff for as long as we can. Yeah, Crive clears with Ace here. And then right here, I always try to go far, because I have the most mobility, kinda. So I spread the Flame Shock to those 2, then to another one. I have it on boss still. And then I just finish that one off. And then we just have one on boss that gets killed. And pretty easy, like Enhance is kinda carrying this this phase. I always just take 2 that are together, so I can like Lava Lash Flame Shock spread them. And then Flame Shock another one. And then just, you know, like Primordial Wave Lightning Bolt them, and they should die. So I always just call where I go, and then the other DPS can go somewhere else. And then Ace and Crive are doing the ones like around the boss, and that's pretty much how we deal with that. So right now we get the 50% ones. I have Primordial Wave again for it. Really good. I'm not puzzle boxing, and we're not lusting, by the way. You may have noticed that. Because we want to lust on puzzle boxes and on cooldowns. So my puzzle box will be up with Tuo's Incarnation. So even though, you know, people would think, oh, we don't have a lot of time, the boss is getting lower, we need to Bloodlust now so that we have like enough damage to kill the boss. No, like we only get 1 Bloodlust into the boss either way. If we lust now or later, it doesn't matter, right? So the most useful thing that you can do is talk to your teammates. When do you have cooldowns? Okay, I'm gonna hold my cooldowns as well for that, and then we're gonna Bloodlust. By the way, these circles on the ground, if you stand on those, they're one shot as well. So we hold potion, we wait for my puzzle box, and we wait for Incarnation. Incarnation, you can see it on OmniCD right here. It's 22 seconds now, and my puzzle box is like 30 seconds. So yeah, once that is happening, we want to use Bloodlust. We have the last phase with like the shards come up here in a couple percentages, and we have like 1 minute left on the timer, so this is kind of tight, honestly. This phase needs to be very quick, so we decide to actually just lust for this phase. So yeah, that's pretty much what we're doing. We press Bloodlust here, we get Primordial Wave on this and that, and then we Lightning Bolt that, kill the last one over there, easy. Then we have one on the boss, but it should die right now. There we go, it's dead. And now it's just the boss with 13 seconds left. We clear Thundering very, very late there. I move out of the thing very late, but I was puzzle boxing. I need my damage. So we have 38 seconds left here. Boss is at 6%, and now we're just blasting the rest that we have into the boss. I could have potted for the face actually instead of on my puzzle box. That was like a mistake on my end, but it was fine. We timed the key. That was a very, very sketchy key. I think Sanguine, Fortified, Vault of the Wardens on 26 is a very difficult key in my opinion. I don't think it's that easy, but we got it done. Oh, sorry, I just pressed play again here. We got it done. Overall, looks fine. 113k. Keep in mind, the next patch is almost around, and I've been mythic raiding since the beginning. I'm playing in a top guild, and I do all my 20s every week on my main. I haven't seen a single 421 weapon yet. So my damage would have been a little bit higher if I had a 421 or an Aranok ring or an icon. And yes, you're gonna hear me complain in every single commentary I do until I get them, which probably will just be next patch. Actually, it won't, because I won't do the content then anymore. Either way, I probably won't get the items anymore. This patch is what I'm trying to say. But yeah, for that it was fine. I think we did great. It was a great key. I hope you learned something from it. I hope the commentary was helpful to you in any way, shape, or form. And yeah, appreciate you guys watching. Thank you very much. I hope you take care, stay healthy, enjoy your weekend, and I hope we see you in the next video or in the live stream. Again, as always, twitch.tv/waveswow. We just streamed today. These keys were on stream, by the way. So if you want to see these live, if you want to ask me questions or whatever, either write a comment or check out the stream. And that's pretty much all I got. Thank you very much for watching again. And with that being said, peace.